There is an island where the tides don't behave. Some days, the ocean retreats so far that reefs appear like exposed bones. Other days, waves rise without wind, pushing inland as if pulled by an invisible hand. Locals blame no storm, no fault line, no modern explanation. They whisper a name, a tribe long gone, a people who performed a ritual so impossible, so dangerous, so unnatural, that it left the ocean forever scarred. They were called the Tidebreakers, but their real legend is far stranger, because these people claimed they could influence, not the sea, but the moon itself. Sailors who landed on their shores described a phenomenon that made no sense. During certain nights, the moon appeared dimmed, faint as if wrapped in haze, even when the sky was perfectly clear. On those nights, the tides stopped, literally stopped. No rise, no fall. The ocean froze like a held breath. Later accounts mention drums echoing across the island, fires burning in tall spirals, and a strange reflective stone raised toward the sky. A stone said to catch moonlight and choke it. When explorers returned years later, the tribe was gone, their stone altars destroyed, the reflective monolith cracked into pieces, their huts swallowed by vines. But the tides on that coastline never returned to normal. Scientists studying the region now claim the island experiences localized gravitational anomalies, subtle, inconsistent, impossible shifts that cause microtide freezes and surges, as if something once interfered with the moon's pull, and the Earth never quite recovered. So the question becomes, did the tribe actually influence the moon, or did they manipulate something even more powerful, something the moon itself responds to? Stay close, because this story begins with survival, and ends with something far bigger. The Tidebreakers lived on an island where survival was a daily battle. The ocean was both their giver and their enemy. Once every generation, a monstrous tide would drown half the island, a wall of water rising without warning, sweeping away homes and lives. The tribe called it the moon's hunger. Archaeologists later discovered the island sits beside a narrow trench where the seafloor rises and falls in irregular pulses, intensifying tides beyond anything normal. The tribe believed the moon was alive, a watcher, a guardian, a creature of light with moods and tempers. If angered, it demanded payment through drowning tides. If pleased, it receded quietly. This belief shaped their entire culture. Children were trained to read shadows cast by moonlight. Elders observed the silver glow on water for signs of change. Hunters carried reflective stones said to calm the moon's eye. But the heart of their society was a structure known as the Lunar Basin, a stone amphitheater designed to reflect moonlight into a central pool. When the moon was brightest, the pool glowed like liquid silver. When the moon dimmed, the tribe panicked. To outsiders, their rituals seemed theatrical, chanting, dancing, lighting spirals of fire. But modern researchers discovered something chilling. The basin's geometry could concentrate light so intensely it behaved like an early optical device, redirecting beams in ways we still struggle to replicate without modern tools. Was it just light? Was it symbolic? Or did their structure interact with something deeper? Gravitational behavior tied to lunar position. As storms grew deadlier and tides more violent, the tribe turned to a ritual older than their own recorded memory. A ritual meant to quiet the moon's rage. Oral legends say the Tidebreakers discovered their moon-stopping ability entirely by accident. During a brutal season of killer tides, an elder placed a polished obsidian slab next to the lunar basin. When the full moon rose, its light struck the slab, bounced into the basin, then refracted into the trench-facing cliffs. Witnesses claimed the entire landscape trembled, not violently, but subtly, like the breath of the island changed rhythm. Then, the tide stopped mid-rise. Fishermen ran to the shore expecting a surge. Instead, the water stood still like a held note. For an entire night, the tribe believed they had interrupted the moon's pull. Modern physicists believe something else happened. A perfectly aligned configuration of reflected lunar energy may have disrupted local gravitational harmonics, similar to how tide pools can be influenced in labs by finely tuned resonance patterns. But the tribe didn't understand the risks. They believed they had tamed the moon. They believed they had the power to stop disaster. They believed they could command the tides. And so they built a larger reflective monolith, a towering structure capable of bending moonlight into specific angles. But the more they used it, the more the tides became unpredictable. Some nights, the ocean froze. Others, the waters rose even higher, as if the moon retaliated. The tribe didn't realize they weren't controlling the moon. They were interfering with the entire Earth-Moon ocean system, and something was beginning to break. As the tribe refined their ritual, something unexpected began happening to the moon itself. Explorers reported seeing a faint halo around it, like a distortion or atmospheric ripple. Ancient astronomers wrote that on certain nights, the moon quivered like a reflection on water, even though it was high above the horizon. Some believed the tribe was physically affecting the moon, but modern scientists propose a darker possibility. The monolith may have been altering Earth's atmospheric lensing, creating temporary distortions that made the moon appear warped, a sign that something in the island's environment was being pushed to its limits. Meanwhile, the tribe kept pushing their ritual further. They discovered they could dampen tide surges for days at a time. They could flatten waves. They could calm storms approaching from the east. They could protect their island until the monolith began to crack. The stone vibrated during the rituals, humming with a low resonance like a living being struggling to breathe. Large fissures spread across its face. Smoke rose from its base. Animals fled the island. Even the wind changed course. The tribe panicked. They believed the moon was fighting back. Their chants grew desperate, rituals longer, fires hotter, alignments tighter. And then came the night of violent imbalance, when the moon dimmed completely for several minutes. No eclipse, no cloud, just darkness. The tribe believed they had stopped the moon, but what they stopped was something much more dangerous. When dawn came, the tribe was gone. Every hut stood untouched, every carving intact, every tool placed neatly inside homes. But no bodies, no footprints, no signs of struggle. Only the broken monolith remained, split perfectly down the middle, its reflective face shattered into countless fragments scattered across the basin. And the tides behaved as if the island were caught between two worlds, sometimes frozen, sometimes violent, sometimes both within hours. Researchers now believe the tribe's final ritual may have triggered a local gravitational anomaly, not enough to move the moon, but enough to disrupt gravitational harmonics around the island. If the monolith truly concentrated lunar energy, and the basin reflected it back into the Earth-Moon system, the ritual may have created a resonance loop powerful enough to distort local gravity. In such a scenario, anything standing inside the basin at the moment of collapse might have been, not killed, but displaced, pushed, pulled, lifted, or simply erased from the location we call reality. Some scientists suggest the tribe could have been pulled outward by brief microgravity. Others believe they were crushed inward by a sudden gravitational spike. But the most unsettling idea? That they succeeded. That they actually detached the moon's influence long enough to be taken somewhere else. Not dead, but transformed. Locals still say that on certain nights, the moon dims slightly above the island. And when it does, you can hear the faint echo of drums across the shore. Tell me, do you think the Tidebreakers destroyed themselves? Or did they go where the moon called them? Comment your theory, and subscribe for more stories where ancient myth meets impossible science.